Right now, someone is being quietly removed from a group they think they still belong to. No announcement, no fight. The invitation just gets a little thinner. The replies come a little slower, and they haven't noticed yet. Because the strange thing about dying alone is that it almost never feels like a decision. It feels like drifting, slow enough that on a given day, nothing seems wrong. You don't get exiled in a single afternoon, you get edged out, one unanswered message at a time. And the cruelest part? Some people this is happening to are helping it happen, without knowing, without meaning to. This is why some people will die alone, and it's stranger and sadder than almost anyone realizes. For most of human history, the edge of the group was the edge of the grave. A human alone was a human on borrowed time. No one to hunt with, no one to guard the fire, no one to notice if you didn't wake up. Exile likely meant the end of you, so we evolved an alarm for it. A feeling that switches on the moment your connection to other people start to fray. You know it by its ordinary name, loneliness. And your brain still runs on that ancient math. But here's the first strange fact. That alarm isn't set to the same volume in everyone. In 2015, behavioral geneticist Dorrit Boomsma helped confirm that roughly half of your tendency toward loneliness is written in your genes. Half. Some people are simply born with the alarm turned up. Let's start with what that loneliness actually is. Because it isn't sadness, it isn't weakness, it's hunger. Think about what hunger really does. It doesn't inform you, it nags you. It sharpens, it makes the smell of food impossible to ignore until you get up and eat. Hunger doesn't care how strong you are, neither does this. Loneliness runs on the exact same design. It's hunger, but the thing your body is starving for is other people. And that's not a metaphor a poet invented. It's the model scientists actually use. The psychologist John Cacioppo at the University of Chicago spent his career arguing that loneliness sits in the same family as hunger, thirst, and pain. Three signals that say the same thing. Something you need to survive is missing. Go get it. You felt this way without ever naming it. The restlessness after too long without a real conversation. The pull to text someone. Anyone. That pull is hunger doing its job. And for most people, that's exactly what happens. The hunger nags, you reach out, you reconnect, the alarm goes quiet. But in some people, the alarm does something else. It doesn't just make you want people, it makes you afraid of them. In 2015, a team led by neuroscientist Stephanie Cacioppo at the University of Chicago wired up the brains of lonely and non-lonely people and flashed images at them. Some threatening, some harmless, some social. A face turning away, a person being left out. Then they measured how fast each brain flagged the danger. The non-lonely brain spotted a social threat in about 252 milliseconds. The lonely brains? 116. More than twice as fast. Read that again. The lonelier you are, the quicker your brain screams danger at the sight of another human face. Not a predator, not a snake, a person. The signal built to pull towards people had quietly started scanning them for threats, which sound like a cruel design flaw. It isn't. Rewind 50,000 years, if you were drifting towards the edge of a group, fewer allies, thinner protection. Then other people were genuinely dangerous to you. The ones at the center had a backup. You didn't. A slight from someone at the core was an inconvenience. The same slight against you, alone on the rim, could be the beginning of the end. So the alarm did the logical thing. As your social safety dropped, it turned your vigilance up. It made you watch faces harder, read tones closer, assume the worst half a second sooner. And on the savannah, that half second kept you alive. It let you see the betrayal coming while there was still time. The hunger for people and the fear of people were never two systems. They were the same alarm doing its job, keeping the animal on the edge of the herd alive one more night. Evolution isn't cruel, it's just old. It built you for a world that no longer exists, kept the alarm, and handed it to you. The trouble is what that alarm does now. For a long time, we assumed loneliness was a private thing, something that happens inside one person. It isn't. It spreads. In 2009, John Capoccio teamed up with network scientists James Fowler and Nicholas Christakis and did something nobody had tried. They mapped loneliness across an entire town. Not a survey, a map. Thousands of people in one Massachusetts community tracked for decades every friendship on record, and they watched loneliness move through the network like a rumor. If a direct friend became lonely, your odds of becoming lonely jumped 52%. A friend of a friend, someone you may have never met, still raised it to 25. Loneliness reached 3 people deep. But that's not the part that should unsettle you. This is. Before people had fully become lonely, the network was already pushing them out. As the loneliness set in, they lost connections. They drifted from the center towards the rim. Fewer and fewer friends, parked on the very edge of the map. And remember what that edge triggers. The hypervigilance, the flinch, the half-second assumption that the next phase means harm. So the lonelier they got, the more they scanned, the more people they pulled back. The more they pulled back, the further out the network shed them. You could be surrounded by people and still be starving. The alarm built to pull you in was quietly pushing you out. And it doesn't stop at your feelings. Your body treats being alone as a full-blown emergency. Chronically isolated, your system behaves like it's under threat around the clock. Stress chemistry up, inflammation creeping in, sleep breaking apart. It is, quite literally, bracing for an attack that modern life never sends, and it reaches deeper than mood. In 2007, geneticist Steve Cole at UCLA read the white blood cells of lonely people. Inside their cells, hundreds of genes had shifted. Inflammation genes turned up, antiviral defenses turned down. Loneliness wasn't just in their heads, it had rewritten the instructions running in their immune system. And all that bracing comes with a bill. In 2015, researcher Julianne Holtenstad pulled dozens of studies covering more than 3 million people. The finding? Chronic loneliness raised the risk of early death by around 26%. Social isolation? 29. Living alone? 32. Being cut off from other people is roughly as dangerous to your lifespan as habits we spend fortunes warning each other about. Loneliness isn't the only fear that you might die alone. It's one of the quiet things that makes it more likely, and billions of people are running on this exact loop right now. Every day, in offices, in marriages, in group chats that never quite become friendships, hungry for connection, wired to flinch from it, slowly drifting to the edge of their own map, and most of them think it's just who they are. But what if it was never who you are? What if the flinch was never a flaw in your character, but an alarm doing exactly what it was evolved to do? Here's the framework that changes everything. If you feel that ache, the one that makes crowded rooms feel empty, that reads rejection into a slow reply, that makes reaching out feel dangerous, you are not broken. You are not cold. You are not unlovable. You're starving. And starving is proof of something if you turn it over. A body only hungers what it was built to run on. You don't crave food because you're weak. You crave it because you're alive and made to be fed. The ache for people works the same way. The one who felt nothing as they drifted to the edge, no pull, no fear, no ache at all. That would be the broken one. Shame tells you the ache means you are the problem. It's telling you the opposite. Your alarm still rings. That isn't the sign something's wrong with you. It's the last, loudest proof that you were built to belong to someone. The hunger was never your enemy. It's the invitation. And here's the strangest part of it all. We built a world where you can answer the hunger without even touching another person. A screen that feeds your face. A feed that feeds your voices. A whole day survivable without a single hand on your shoulder. We answered an ancient hunger with a glowing screen. The alarm still rings. We just learned how to eat around it. So somewhere right now, someone is being quietly removed from a group they think they still belong to. The replies slowing, the invitations thinning, the old alarm going off exactly as designed, telling them to go back, reach out, be seen. And a world humming softly in their ear that they don't need to. The hunger was never the problem. We just built a kitchen with no one left in it. And it's called progress.